So even before today, I thought Tom Aspinall was a tough matchup for John Jones, but now I'm convinced he's a nightmare stylistic matchup for him. I know this is going to come to a shock. A lot of people don't think anyone can give John Jones any problems at all or anything like that. But hear me out. Listen to what I have to say. Don't just go straight. Don't bet against Bones. Bones is unstoppable. Nobody can stop Bones. Like, let me actually make my points. And then if you want to disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Explain your reasoning. But here's my reasoning for why I think Tom Aspinall is a tough stylistic matchup for John Jones. So there's a lot of factors. Let's just look at the basic ones, all right? We don't know anything about John Jones at heavyweight. Yes, I know he went in there, he ran through Cyril Gane, made it look easy, but that's Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane's completely different to Tom Aspinall, and we didn't see John Jones get extended. He just sort of went in there, took him down, subbed him pretty quickly. Like, you can't really base too much on him. Yeah, he looked great, but even at light heavyweight, John Jones wasn't some like crazy finisher. A lot of his fights were going to decision. So maybe it just speaks to how much Cyril Gane really needs to work on his grappling. But I don't think it really factors into a Tom Aspinall matchup. I feel like there are so many more questions about John Jones at heavyweight. What's his cardio look like when he gets extended at heavyweight? What's his power like? What's his technical striking look like? We didn't get to see much striking out of John Jones in that fight. We didn't get to see anything. Like, I want to know more things about John Jones as the heavyweight. We know lots of stuff about John Jones, the light heavyweight, but there are so many unanswered questions about John Jones in this heavyweight form. Is his cardio going to be top notch? He put on a lot of mass. He's not just all muscle, he looks a bit fluffy as well at the same time. I'm not saying he's like a fat, obese heavyweight or anything, but you can tell he's put on a lot of weight, not just muscle-wise. And it just makes me question a lot of stuff about him. Like, what does John Jones in the second round look like at heavyweight? Is he going to be completely gassed out? Is the cardio going to be the same? Like, there's just a lot of questions just about John Jones in general at heavyweight. But this isn't just why I think Tom Aspinall is a nightmare matchup for John Jones. I think just style-wise, it's like stylistically, I just think Tom Aspinall in general is a tough matchup for him. Now, I'll factor in some reasons why I think that. We've all seen over the years all of John Jones's toughest opponents have all been longer opponents, guys with longer reaches. Like, we've seen Dominic Reyes give him a tough fight. We've seen Alexander Gustafsson give John Jones tough fights. So not only are they longer guys, what else do they have? They have boxing styles. They have MMA boxing. Their style is primarily an MMA boxer. What is Tom Aspinall? He's an MMA boxer. Boxing has always been the biggest flaw in John Jones's game. Still is. His hands aren't the sharpest. He's easier to hit against boxers. Like, people with crisper hands have always been good against John Jones. And I know he's a heavyweight. I know Tom Aspinall's a heavyweight. But I would argue he's quicker. He's quicker than Gustafsson and quicker than Reyes. Maybe I'm completely off there, but he looks so freakishly fast. He looks like a fucking middleweight the way he moves. Like, he is so fast, it's crazy, especially for his size. That's another thing. He'll be the biggest person John Jones has faced. Gane is like, 244? He's a much smaller heavyweight. He's not like a freakishly big heavyweight. Tom Aspinall's naturally just a big bloke. He is generally a really big bloke, but he's so fast, so powerful. And also mentioning the length and everything, 78-inch reach. Dominic Reyes, 77-inch reach. I'd say, I know he's a heavyweight, and I know heavyweights aren't normally as skilled as light heavyweights, but I think he's actually got some really solid technique in his boxing. He's very good with the boxing. His head movement's very slick. He's got good takedowns off of his counters and off his defense. Like, he got Volkov with a takedown from using his head movement to go right into a takedown. Like, really, he's just very, very smart with everything he does. Like, he's an actual heavyweight with a high fight IQ. It's not something you see. And John Jones has a great chin and everything. I don't know if he would just immediately go in there and chin him like he did Sergey Pavlovich, but we haven't actually seen John Jones take heavyweight power. Even Garn isn't the hardest hitter at heavyweight, so we wouldn't have had that question answered anyway. I know he's got a really good chin. John Jones is one of the greatest chins at light heavyweight, though. Getting hit by these big boys is different. Everybody's got a granite chin until they get fucking clipped by that right shot by a 120 kilo man. And Tom Aspinall is around 118 kilos, something like that. He's a big fucking guy. He'll be bigger than John Jones. He actually can grapple, has better grappling than Cyril Gahn. We haven't got to see his takedown defense, so maybe that is something we need to have answered. But I tend to believe it's decent. But like I said, I could be wrong on that. But I don't know, there's just so many things factor in here. Tom Aspinall's younger. I know John Jones isn't like a super old guy, and especially not for a heavyweight. But Tom Aspinall's 30. John Jones is like 6 years older, right? Yeah, 36 years old. By the time they fight, he'll probably be about 37. I know that's like at heavyweight in the grand scheme of things, that's not that old. Heavyweights can last a bit longer, but I just think this is such a bad stylistic matchup for John Jones. Aspinall just showed in the Pavlovich fight that he can kick. He actually has good kicks. I could see him chewing up John Jones's leg. He's got very skinny legs for a heavyweight, even a light heavyweight. He's got very skinny legs in general. And we've seen Dominic Reyes use that against him, kicking at his leg constantly over and over again. We've seen Thiago Santos use that same game plan. Like there is a blueprint to beating John Jones. Dominic Reyes set it. He came very, very close. Most people believe he should have won that. Thiago Santos got a split decision, but personally I didn't think he won that at all. I thought John Jones did beat Thiago Santos. But I just think Tom Aspinall has so many ways to win this fight. I don't think he would go in there and just take him down and sub him. John Jones, you'd have to think, has the better grappling. He's got light heavyweight grappling, but who fucking knows? Tom Aspinall is like a next level type of heavyweight. He's good everywhere. He's not just good for heavyweight standards. Like, I'd say he's like light heavyweight skilled at least. I'd say if Tom Aspinall was like a light heavyweight, I think he would generally, do decent there. I'm not saying he would ever make that weight class or anything. I just mean if you sized him down to a light heavyweight, I think his skill set would like actually do really well there. Maybe that's a hot take, but I just generally think he's the very skilled guy, and it's not just for heavyweight standards. I think he's just generally skilled in general, especially for the higher weight classes. You don't really see guys this skilled, this well-rounded. He's athletic. He's very, very fucking quick. I'd say he is faster than John Jones, at least the heavyweight version of John Jones. I think another thing is with John Jones, being a much bigger guy at heavyweight, the body shots. Tom Aspinall can probably land so many body shots on him and fucking slow him down, hit him to the body. He's got a big belly at heavyweight. Just keep hitting him there over and over again. I promise you it will add up. Even if John Jones's cardio is good at heavyweight, he's getting hit over and over again to the body. He is going to slowly gas out. And if he is gassed out and he can't get Tom Aspinall down, Tom Aspinall can just fucking tee off on him and catch him. And Tom Aspinall's got some next level power. He's fast. You don't see his shots coming, and he uses technique. Perfect combination. He's got technical power, natural power, and the element of surprise. People don't really see his shots. He's very good at just sneaking them, especially with the speed he does, and his technique and everything is really good. Like, I generally believe if this fight happens, man, John Jones isn't going to take this fight, unfortunately. He's going to retire after Stipe Miocic. But I pray he takes this fight. Not just because I want to see him lose or anything like that. I just think this will be a great fight, and I want to see him tested against a proper heavyweight. I know you could say, well, Stipe was the champion, and he's a proper heavyweight and everything like that. I get it, but he's also an old man. Let's be honest. If you've seen Stipe walking today, it's not a good look. He didn't look fucking good the way he was walking. Tom Aspinall's a young man in his prime. He's going to be making rapid improvements. I'd say he'd be making more improvements than John Jones at this point. I don't think that's a hot take to say. But yeah, man, I just think this is a great matchup stylistically for Tom Aspinall. Could John Jones win? Of course he could. It's fucking John Jones. But if you were to give me name me a fighter on the active UFC roster who I think would give him the toughest fight, it's Tom Aspinall, man. Boxing is always his biggest problem. He's never ever done good against a boxer. Even I think even Glover had some success. He still dominated Glover, but Glover, I don't think his boxing was as sharp then as it did become. I could be wrong on that actually, but he's not. Glover's got decent boxing, but he's not like an actual technical boxer, if that makes sense. Like he's got good hooks and everything, but he's not pouring out the jab or anything like that. He's not mixing to the body. Like his style of boxing is like sort of like a brawling type of boxing, while Tom Aspinall, Reyes, Gustafsson are a more technical uh, type of boxing, all about timing and everything. But Tom Aspinall, fucking man, I just don't know how John Jones would win this fight. Yeah, the only way I could see him winning is just going in there and immediately grappling and taking down Aspinall and subbing him. Could it happen? Yeah, of course it could. But I just don't see it, man. I generally don't see it. I just don't see a world where that will happen. I think Tom Aspinall has good takedown defense, I think. It is a big factor. We haven't really seen it. I wish we got to see Curtis Blades shoot on him or something. But even if he doesn't have good takedown defense, I think his jiu-jitsu is good enough to survive. I don't think he would get subbed by a mini guillotine like Cyril Gane was. I think he would at least give a tougher fight, and I think he'd be able to land some shots off on John Jones. And he's got that game-changing power. Longer reach, not as long as John Jones, but still longer than people John Jones is used to fighting who have always given him trouble, like I've mentioned. I would see this being very similar to the Reyes fight, but I think Aspinall could actually finish John Jones. I know that's crazy. I know people act like John Jones can't be beat or anything like that, but he's been shown he is a human being. He is not fucking superhuman. He can be defeated, and I think Tommy Aspinall's the man to do it. And maybe this is just recency bias. I don't think so. The way he went out there and dusted Sergey Pavlovich didn't completely. That's not the reason why I had this thought before. But he's just different to these other heavyweights. He's not like just a fat heavyweight like Brawler or anything like that. And Sergey Pavlovich is one of the other really good heavyweights out there. And the way he did him, like, showed levels to like a guy who's levels above the other heavyweights too. Like that is fucking insane to see. Like I don't know, man. I think this fucking could be the shocking performance of a lifetime. I think he would put on a better performance than Dominic Reyes. Maybe the one thing that we don't know and we still haven't had answered is Tom Aspinall's cardio. He's never left the second round, so maybe that is something John Jones would have an advantage in. But then again, I did mention, we haven't seen John Jones's cardio at heavyweight. We haven't seen him extended. We haven't seen if his cardio is the same. I don't think it would be. He's put on a lot of mass. You can't keep... Like, when you put on that much mass, I don't think his cardio is going to be the same. And it's obviously put on muscle and everything. He's not like an obese guy, but like he put on a bit of flab, like respectfully. And I think that'll slow him down. He looked a lot slower against Cyril Gane on the feet. That is something you got to factor in. Like, I know, I'm going to mention it every time. Yeah, he went in there. He destroyed Cyril Gane and made it look easy. But eye test isn't just about people going in there and winning. It's about how they move, their technique and everything. He didn't look good on the feet. It didn't last very long. We didn't get to see much of his striking against Cyril Gane, but it looked regressed. He looked a lot slower. It just didn't, I don't know, it didn't look like the same fighter. Which is, of course, that was his first time at heavyweight. But, man, I don't know, man. I generally think this could be it. This could be the man to beat John Jones. It's not going to happen, though. John Jones has made it perfectly clear. He's probably going to retire after Stipe. Maybe because he's going to be out for so long, this will actually motivate him to come back. Tom Aspinall might get another fight in or something. Maybe he goes in there and sleeps Almeida in an interim title defense before Jones vs. Stipe. Because, maybe he's going to defend this belt. I doubt they're going to keep Tom Aspinall sidelines for like a year. Because, like, who knows how long John Jones is going to be out for. That would be a really shitty thing to do, to halt Tom Aspinall's career after, you know, he just had a long layoff after an injury. You don't want to keep him laid off for that time. You know, like, that would just be a really shitty thing to do from the UFC. But, I don't know, convince me, please. Somebody convince me why John Jones would beat Tom Aspinall. I just can't see it. I know that's crazy. John Jones, one of the greatest of all time, but I just can't see a world where he beats. I just can't see it. I can't see him beating Tom Aspinall. I know that's crazy to say, but he doesn't have that danger that everyone else. Like, I was picking Pavlovich to beat Tom Aspinall. I'm not gonna lie there. Everyone knows that if you watch my videos. But the difference is he's got them fucking nukes in his hand. Actual fucking nukes. John Jones isn't like a power threat. He isn't a knockout artist. Can he finish people? Of course he can, but he's not a knockout threat for Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall doesn't have to worry about his power. Like John Jones, I would arguably, respectfully say, has pillow hands. You know, he doesn't have power in his hands. Can he drop people if he gets them at the right time? I'm sure, yeah. I think the only time we've really seen him drop anyone was with like an elbow against Machida. It might have been a punch, and then obviously with a head kick against DC, and I'm sure he's dropped a few other people, but never would really with the hands. His boxing, like I say, weakest part of his game. With the boxing difference, Tom Aspinall's boxing compared to John Jones's boxing would be like a novice. Like, I mean that. I generally mean that. Tom Aspinall is like a pro level boxer compared to John Jones's boxing. John Jones is like amateur level with his boxing. It's just not that good. He's great everywhere. John Jones is great everywhere. Great with the kicks, great with the sweeps, great with the Greco-Roman, great with the just freestyle wrestling takedowns with his trips. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good ground and pound, but amateurish in the boxing, man. It's something I've always noticed about John Jones. I'll always mention it. I mentioned it in a video when I mentioned how Stipe has a real shot against John Jones, even though I was still picking John Jones there before this fight got cancelled. You just got to think about it. I know people will look at this video and say, nobody beats John Jones. But you just got to think about it. You don't think of him of this like super fucking human being. He looked great against Cyril Gane, don't get me wrong, but I still not prime John Jones anymore either. I'd say he's past his prime. I know he looked good against Cyril Gane, but he has a very big grappling deficit in his fights. His grappling is not there. His grappling is not on the level of a Tom Aspinall, in my opinion. Like, I think Tom Aspinall is a genuine good grappler, and not just for heavyweight standards, but like light heavyweight standards too. Like, I don't know. I feel like at the very least he would give John Jones one of his toughest fights, and my opinion, beat him. But if he didn't beat him, I still think he would put up a really good fight. Could I be wrong? Of course I could. You know, it's always possible. It's not like set in stone or anything. But I don't like the matchup for John Jones. I just don't. Nothing in my head when I think about this matchup makes me think, yeah, shit, you know, John Jones, win it that way. Like, only path to victory is him getting a sub or just, like, somehow mauling Tom Aspinall. He is British, so maybe his takedown defense isn't good. You know, there's a stereotype that British fighters can't wrestle, but Tom Aspinall's been wrestling and doing grappling since he was a kid. Pretty sure it was his first base. And he's a big lad. He's used to wrestling and grappling with much bigger men than John Jones. John Jones will probably have the skill advantage just because he's got that light heavyweight skill set with the grappling, but I don't know, man. I just think Tom Aspinall would be able to keep it standing. If it stays standing, I just could not see John Jones winning a striking fight, especially at heavyweight. I think he would gas out in a high-paced fight at heavyweight. Could I be wrong? Of course I could. Tom Aspinall might be the one who gasses. We don't know much about his gas tank, but we didn't know much about Dominic Reyes' gas tank either when he fought John Jones, and he went in there and arguably won 3 rounds against John Jones. So yeah, while I say I just can't not see this as a nightmare matchup, man. What else is there to factor in? Like, I think he has decent cardio, fights at a high pace, never really seen him slow down. He's very composed. When he's nervous, I think he has his best performances. You could tell he was fucking nervous as fuck before fighting Sergey Pavlovich. And it pays off. When Tom Aspinall is nervous, that is when he's at his most dangerous. When he's fighting someone like John Jones, who was a fighter he looks up to, you know, known as the GOAT, he's going to be fucking under so much pressure. And pressure, as they say, makes diamonds. And Tom Aspinall, under pressure, makes fucking diamond and a half, you know? This man fucking, he does it, I'm going to keep saying it, he does his best under pressure. Look at his Volkov performance, one of the best of his career. First main event, you know, just a great fucking performance from Tom Aspinall. You know, whatever his worst performances probably the Arlovsky fight. Not really much risk there. I know Arlovsky was his idol and everything, but I don't think it was like a tough matchup for him. I think he was pretty convinced he was going to win. Still has a great performance there, but you know you can tell he's just sort of forcing the finish a bit there. You know he's not concerned about the power from Arlovsky or anything. He's not really too concerned by anything Arlovsky's got for him. But against like these guys where he's scared, you know, Volkov, massive guy, goes in there, KOs in main event as well. Tybora, main event, not just a main event fight, but coming back after a real injury, he's going to be nervous. He's going to be like, oh, fuck, I hope it doesn't happen again. Goes in there and fucking annihilates him. Sergey Pavlovich, co-main event for an interim title, absolute fucking killer. Guy who's knocking everybody out. He's going to be shitting himself. 2 weeks notice. Is this the right decision? Is this the wrong decision? Goes in there and fucking smokes him. You know, and John Jones, it'll be for the vacant, well not vacant, it'll be for the undisputed championship, the heavyweight championship he's wanted his whole life, the thing he's been training for every day for years since he was a kid, against the guy who many conceive as the GOAT. He's going to be under so much pressure that we'll see the best Tom Aspinall. I truly believe that. I truly believe it. This guy has shown under pressure. He fights at his best. His best performances are always while under that pressure. He'll see John Jones as a threat everywhere. And he'll go in there. And, I mean, fucking this guy was injured before he even took this fight against Pavlovich, and he still went in there and smoked him. Imagine if he wasn't, like, I don't know, the guy's got a granite chin. John Jones isn't powerful or anything, so John Jones probably won't go out there and knock him out on the feet. Can he catch him with like a kick? Of course he can, but he's very, very good. Like, I don't think John Jones is quick enough at heavyweight to go in there and just like throw up a head kick, boom, 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 you know, like something like that. You know, he's not going to go out there and just one punch KO Aspinall either. It's a great matchup for Tom Aspinall. Maybe people are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but I truly believe it. Tom Aspinall will beat John Jones if they fight. Will it happen? I have my doubts, but I really hope John Jones does take this fight. It is, if he wins that, it's undeniable he's a heavyweight GOAT. He'd be what? That'd be his third title defense against the former, you know, beat two former interim champions. He beats the greatest heavyweight of all time, Stipe Miocic, and also beat DC at light heavyweight, who was heavyweight champion. You know, he would have he'd be a good contender for heavyweight GOAT, as well as just the overall GOAT, light heavyweight GOAT. Like, it would just be such a legacy building performance if he went and beat Tom Aspinall. He needs to take this fight. You know, his heavyweight legacy won't matter. It will have so many asterisks if he doesn't go in there and fight Tom Aspinall. You know, I'm sure he won't care what people have to say when it comes to like saying there's asterisks and everything. But I mean, deep down, I think he will care. But I think he'll retire anyway. I think he knows the risk that Tom Aspinall gives him. You know, he's a smart guy, John Jones. Why take the risk when he could just go out, known as the GOAT and everything? But I don't know. I don't know, man. I think this would be the best fight the UFC could make at heavyweight. But yeah, unfortunately, it won't happen. If it can somehow happen, man, the hype if John Jones beats Stipe and then he's like, you know, yeah, MSG, I was thinking about retiring. You know, and then he's like, but then some guy went and stole my belt. Tom Aspinall, I'm coming for you, you know, something like that, you know. If he did something like that, I would be so unbelievably fucking hype. Like, that'd be such a great build, but yeah, I don't want to get myself hyped up and, you know, not happen, but Tom Aspinall versus John Jones would be the most hyped fight, in my opinion, in, like, heavyweight history. I know that's crazy to say. Obviously, I think Ngannou would be very hyped as well, but that's not going to happen. Just possible fights. There'd be no fight that would be more hyped for than John Jones versus Aspinall, man. Like, by the time they fight, John Jones is going to be so much older, like I mentioned. Tom Aspinall's going to be, what, 31? Probably by the time they fight, he'll be improved, still in shape, like making rapid improvements. John Jones will probably not be, coming off a really bad injury. Maybe we're going to see the worst John Jones in his next fight. I don't know. It's just so many factors go against John Jones here. But, it's John Jones. He'll probably just go in there and sub him anyway. But fuck, hey. That's fucking what John Jones does. But I don't think so. I think Tom Aspinall beats him. And I think he could generally crack the legendary chin of John Jones. That heavyweight power is so different to any of them light heavyweights who have hit John Jones. He's got a great chin, but you cannot just have a granite chin like that if you're getting hit over and over again at heavyweight. That heavyweight power is different, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, that's all I've got to say about this matchup. I think Tom Aspinall would beat John Jones and would become the undisputed champion. I could be completely wrong, but the fight's probably not going to happen. But if it does, I'll still be saying this. Maybe my opinion will change if, I don't know, we see something crazy from John Jones. But even if he wins, I don't know. If we see Stipe Miocic give him some problems with the boxing, then I guarantee I'll even be more confident in Tom Aspinall because he has better boxing than Stipe, especially at this point in his career. Much faster, more powerful. But yeah, man, that's all I've got to say. Yeah, so thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Let me know your opinions. Let me know if you agree, disagree. If you do disagree, just let me know. Let me know why you disagree, and we can debate it in the comments. I'm always down to debate. You don't have to always agree with me. That's the great thing about MMA. It's always great to debate it. I don't want people who just agree with me to agree with me. If you do generally agree with me, then yeah, great, cool. I'm glad that we share the same opinion. But if you don't, I want to be able to debate you about it. I want to be able to argue about it. But yeah, that's all I've got to say, man. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I know it's a very long video, but I really need to get this video off my chest, man. Like, I'd feel so stupid if I never made this video. Like, knowing I fought this for a while, but now I'm so confident. But I would worry about the oblique kicks, though. Like, holy shit, if John Jones just oblique kicked the fucking knee that got broken and everything, like, Jesus. But I think his knee and ACL and everything is great now, so we'll see. But anyway, yeah, like I said, that's all I've got to say. So thanks for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. So yeah, cheers. Cheerio.